Gang. All right, we got CJ LaBoy, the 38 special, aka the Barbarian, aka the Goat Chaser, aka the Gutless Goat. CJ, how much weight did you lose in the first 6 weeks of Gutless?
I got down to 40 pounds. 6 weeks.
You lost 40 pounds?
40 pounds, 40.
I don't believe you.
Well, believe it. You've seen the numbers. Yeah, and down 40 pounds, man. 40 pounds.
How are you
40
feeling?
Pounds. I feel great, man. I feel light, obviously. I feel like not only the actual physical weight's been lifted, but the proverbial weight's been lifted. Feel, confident. Feel like I can face anything, man. Feel really good.
What do you do? Do you have a family? I know the answers to these questions, but the audience doesn't know. How old are you? Give us the goods.
So 40 years old. I've worked as an NFL agent for the last 17 years. My team represents about 80 plus NFL players. Married, happily married, got a beautiful, stunning wife. I got 3 amazing kids, and yeah, I've worked really, full time since finishing up being a college football player. Not only you're full time professional, but you're full time dad and husband, and you wear a lot of hats, and I certainly do.
Strapped for time, busy guy, and you've tried a lot of other weight loss programs in the past. Talk us through some of your past struggles with weight loss and some of the problems, so to speak, or the struggles that brought you to Gutless.
Yeah, so I've tried everything. I've tried everything that you would either call a fad or a trend or whatever, whether it's diet, whether it's exercise, whether it's fasting, whether it's all of the above, right? And I think for me, the biggest thing that was missing was just the accountability piece, right? I spent a lot of time in my professional life, certainly my personal life, holding other people accountable, holding other people to a higher standard, and pushing them to their goals, and whether it's contracts or marketing or draft or whatever, and same with your family, right? And I think for me, everything else that I tried, and I think the biggest reason why they didn't work is because that accountability factor wasn't there, right? Like there was no one else other than myself pushing me, and it's easy to kind of get stuck in that same routine of missing days, and then stacking those missed days and stacking those losses as opposed to those wins, right? That accountability just was not there, and a lot of that's on me. That's on me, right? So for me, one, knowing you, Bryce, and then also seeing the results that you've had with other people, it was I was like, you know what, let me just try this one out. You know what I mean? I know Bryce. He never bullshits ever, never once. So if he's saying this thing works, and this will be good for me, I'll give it a spin, right? So I did, and right out the gate it worked like gangbusters. I mean, it was pretty incredible.
What happened in week 1? It was a pretty unbelievable week. I have a hard time posting some of these numbers because they're even hard for me to believe. Talk about your first week. Talk about the bacon factor.
Yeah, the bacon factor. Yeah, so a big part of this program is the diet, right? And committing to the work and committing to the diet. And it's a very simple diet. There's nothing on there that anybody would not enjoy eating. I mean, everything on there we all like. At least I do, and I know my counterparts in the program do. And bacon was one of them. So here I am, the first week, literally eating a slab of bacon. I'm like a Costco-sized slab of bacon a day. And I'm like thinking to myself, all right, it's on the diet. You never once said, eat bacon every meal. You never said that. But I was like, all right, it's on the diet. I enjoy it. It kind of helped, break this sugar rush or sugar addiction, if you will. So, let's give it a whirl. So I literally ate bacon every single meal, 3-4 meals a day. Bacon's in it. I mean, I'm talking like a pound of bacon a day. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to lose weight, dude. No way. I'm eating bacon every meal. And after the week, I'm down. After the first week, I was down 13 pounds, almost 14 pounds. And I'm like, holy smokes! Like this, it's working. It's working. And even at that time, it was really at the beginning of the change in workout regimen. So the workout part wasn't really ramped up yet. It was just purely diet and pure, commitment to the plan, the program, and literally eating bacon every meal. And I know after I told you, you're like, oh my God, he's eating bacon every meal. He's crazy. I was down 13 pounds. Crazy. I couldn't believe it. Could not for a second.
And did you see me telling guys to eat more carbs? I mean, one thing that is different about this diet than most is everyone's like, low carbs, no carbs. And I'm like, no, eat carbs. Why don't you have carbs in your meals? That's one thing you'll see me saying consistently. Did you see that happening? And also, were there any portion restrictions or any portion controls at all?
No portion controls, not at all. Not certainly not through the outset. Now, as you evolve and go through it, you can use that as a tool if you need to. Carbs were definitely emphasized, the good carbs, and that's something that you preach daily and regularly, and to help us have an understanding. So we weren't foggy, or our energy levels weren't poor and whatnot. But yeah, no. Look, the diet is simple. It's very straightforward. It's something that everybody can easily do. It's very easily done. Some of the other guys in our group are seemingly executive chefs, and the stuff they were whipping up with the meal plan were some of the most amazing dishes I've ever seen. I wish I could try them, but we're all quarantined, so that wasn't happening. But the diet's super easy. It's very simple. It's very good. And it emphasizes, not just eating cleaner, more protein, heavier vegetables and all that, but eating carbs. And most other diets, you got to cut the carbs out completely, and it feels like you're, messing up your whole body, and you're foggy, and you just drained, and that wasn't the case. And you could still have the same energy levels, and also have a diet that you don't feel is really like impinging on whatever your comfort zone was coming into it. I was a heavy snacker. I eat crackers and chips and all that. That's like, we the LaBoy house. That's what we love. To pull that out pull it all out completely, and not have anything to offset it carbohydrate wise would probably have, I would have probably quit. There's no doubt about it. So the carb part was a critical piece of the diet. No doubt about it.
Amazing. And so you were the leaderboard front runner the entire challenge. Now the Gutless Goat, Ty Vernon, lost 37 pounds in 8 weeks. We do 10 to 30 pounds like clockwork. I'm not shocked by seeing 30 pounds go. 37 was impressive. And then you came in and you were like, I'm the 38 special. I'm going to go one above Ty like Kobe did. Number 24, one above Jordan. Made that happen. Just phenomenal. But did you see other guys in the group getting results too?
Absolutely. Everybody in my group, we have a group of 4 guys. Everyone in my group had substantial weight loss. And we also had another guy who came a little bit later to the group, who has changed his body composition, almost immediately. He's now like a little bodybuilder, freaking guy. No, but everybody, he's pumping out push-ups and burpees and working out with the pros, and really, really kicking ass and setting the tone. And everybody in our group have this week that we're going into, which is kind of our final week, full week, if you will. We had one guy that kind of plateaued a little bit, who, he's made like a big jump in his weight loss, which he's all fired up about and excited. And, I think our group was committed, but even outside of our group, the rest of the people in the program, there's another guy that lost 30 pounds. I think he's over 30 pounds now, if I'm not mistaken. Another one at 20. Everybody had lost weight. The guys that really committed to it, like really bought in, committed to the program, did everything that was asked. And granted, everything that's asked of us is really easy. It's just, you just got to do it. It's not hard to do. It's not backbreaking. It's not laborious. It's just, you got to do it. Everybody that really committed to the commitment, they all lost weight, big weight, and changed their bodies, and changed their bodies, changed their mindset, changed their mentality, changed seemingly their personalities too. Kind of, you can see the animals kind of coming out of everybody, right? Like everybody's like, oh, like the alpha's coming back, the wolves, the packs. It's cool to see it. It's cool to see it. And it's cool to have, like I mentioned before, not only a coach and a mentor and a leader like yourself, holding us accountable, but also to instill that into all of us. Like, hey, look, you guys got to elevate yourselves and your personalities to hold not only yourself accountable, but dig deep and hold everybody else around you accountable and really work together. And that's so invaluable, man. It's like, it's such a big part of the program, and it just makes such a huge difference. There's no doubt.
Do you see this as a lifestyle? Is this something that you can keep doing, or is this just going to be a lame fad diet that you could just throw into the waste bin with all the other crappy diets out there that don't drive sustainable results, that don't create the mindset shift, that truly are not a lifestyle and a life changing transformation? Is this something that you feel you can do long term? And that was such a lob. And so sorry about that, but just tell me, you just tell me like, nah, I don't see this as a long-term deal. If that's how you feel, because I'm going to check in with you. So shoot me straight.
Pure and simple. I know for me personally, I needed a reboot, not just in my personal physical fitness, but also in just in my mindset, right? So, as you carry extra weight, or you carry extra stress, or you carry these unwanted burdens, and whether it's self-inflicted or not, it has its impacts on other areas of your life, right? Whether it's your personal relationships, or your marriage, or your sex life, or your work, or your professional life, or whatever. For me, I felt that my weight gains, the weight gains, unequivocally hurt everything else. Hurt my own personal confidence at work or at home, even my energy levels, my patience with my kids and my family, and even my coworkers or whatever. It had a really negative effect for me. There's no doubt about it. And it just, all the hits of your confidence or insecurity, whatever it is, right? It all has an impact. So when you enter the program, you're committing to something, right? And I think a big part of that commitment is you're committing to a lifestyle change. And once you start seeing those positive gains, whether it's weight loss or change in body composition or whatever, you almost immediately, at least for me, you almost immediately started seeing the changes in the other aspects of your life that were, negatively affected by what you were carrying. You know what I mean? And it's 100% a lifestyle that is, that you can maintain. It's a diet that you can commit to for your entire life if you want to, and not feel burden or not feel like you're in a crappy spot if you're out at a dinner, or in a social setting or a business dinner or whatever the case may be. You could eat just like everybody else, you know what I mean? But more importantly, you commit yourself to that change, that mentality change, that personal philosophy change, the positive gains that you get from all the ancillary or the everything that's kind of surrounding your being, that change through this program. And yeah, it's something that you could do for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? If you really truly are committed to making a change and being who you say you are, and being who you say, or you tell people what you want to be, and whatnot, in any aspect, then yeah, this is 1000% a lifestyle that you're going to commit to.
Awesome. And so the changes in the household, I do a lot of gutless pathway calls. And if somebody is a good candidate for the gang, I will let them know, and I'll offer them a conversation around pricing and the dates of our next program.
Yep.
If they're not a good fit, I'll tell them that too. I don't want dead weight. I don't want guys who aren't ready for change. I'll say, here you go. Here's a screenshot of your gutless pathway. Good luck. Let me know when the pain of mediocrity exceeds the pain of change and taking action. But yesterday I was on a call and a guy was like, sounds great. I want in. I'm 100% committed, but I got to talk to my wife. And I said, okay, well, how about I just tell you what your wife is going to say? She's
Right.
going to say, my God, how much did you invest in this program? Does it work? Who the hell is this Bryce guy? Gutless? What's that? Looks a little weird. Looks a little cultish. I don't know. And then once you pay and you do the work and you lose 37, 40 pounds and your mentality has changed, you're more patient with your kids, your sex life is better, your wife is more attracted to you, you're showing up bigger, which is attractive in its own right, beyond just how you look physically, the way that you're showing up, your contributions to the marriage, your commitment to improving, all that is attractive to women. And, what were some of the changes in the household with your wife? And then also, anything that your kids may have noticed? A lot of dads come in with fears around longevity, not seeing their kids graduate, and not being the super dad that they want their kids to view them as. You could talk through the family life. Men whose wives are like, I don't know. What would you say to those guys?
If your wife doesn't want you to get on this train, then you might not need to consider taking her off of your train. Seriously,
Amazing.
like,
That-
look, like for me, it was simple. And like I told you on our first call, like, I've my sole purpose in life right now is being the leader, the provider, the nurturer, that my family needs. Like I don't care about anything else. Everything else is really secondary. And yes, my work and my profession and the money I make and all that feed into it because it allows me to feed them and take care of and provide. But I just want to be the ultimate provider. Now, granted, it's like an apex provider, alpha provider, but that's what my family needs. I got a beautiful wife who's extremely supportive, and thankfully she was really supportive. She's been really supportive through this process, and shutting down the house when I need to get on my calls, or helping me cook meals when I was kind of figuring out some variety. If I what kind of variety can I add, and she's like, here, how about these options? But the one thing though, I will say, she's like just naturally thin and athletic looking, and just hot body and all that stuff. Now she's starting to work out. I'm like, oh, this is great, because now you're going to be even hotter, as because you feel I feel like, because you think I'm hotter, and she tells me all the time, and even my kids, they wake up sometimes when they wake up in the morning before I do at 5:30, 6 o'clock. They'll say, they'll come in the room and say, hey, Daddy, you going to get on your bike, your assault bike? And I'm like, well, shit, yeah, and I am now. They're like, they're in tune with my regime, both in the morning and at night. And when I go do my workouts, they'll actually go and do their own little workout on their own, whether it's riding their bikes or running. Or my 6-year-old son literally will grab like a broom handle and pretend he's bench pressing. We don't even have a bench press. I don't even know where he got it from, but it's just cool to see that they're seeing the work that I'm putting in, but also they're like, oh wow, well, Dad's trying to improve themselves. And my daughter the same thing. Like it's like it's what I've been doing is uplifted everybody else, and it hasn't been me having to tell them like, you have to go do this, like you have to go work out, or you have to go put this time in, or whatever. So it's definitely uplifted. Sex life, definitely a plus. When your wife thinks you're sexier and you feel sexier, then things can become a lot sexier, right? I mean, I think it's an easy equation. And then just having the energy level to get through a day and not feel heavy, not feel weighted down, not feel cumbersome and whatnot, and be able to run around with my kids and wrestle with them at the drop of a dime, and not get winded. Like I get winded. I was I thought I was in my 270s. I was, when I really weighed in the first time, was 286. So I'm like, oh my God, I was closer to 300 than 250, where I was as a 250, 260 pounds, where I was as a college football player, right? So, I knew I was committing to the program. I knew I was committing to the mentality, and yes, it's like you just talked about. It's a lifestyle change, but also it was like, all right, I punished myself for how many ever years. I'm punishing myself 10 times more just to prove that I could get back to where I was, because that's just where I wanted to be. And like I said, it's uplifted everybody. I mean, it has, without question, it's changed, the dynamic in our household without question. Now, granted, I also now think my shit doesn't stink more so than ever before. And now I hope that barking orders was like, all right, you're going to listen now, because clearly you see the work and all that other stuff. But it's cool. It's really cool. It's had a great, really positive impact. So if your wife doesn't support you getting sexy and her being able to go to bed with a sexual tyrannosaur, then she's got problems. You're going to have to take her in or reevaluate your situation.
Remember in Predator, it was Jesse the Body Ventura.
Right.
He's chewing that red man, and he's like, hey, boy, this stuff will make you a sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Right.
That's gutless, man. Put it in your mouth, pop a little chew in. 8 weeks later, sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Put a little M1 diet into your mouth, and
there we go. That's
pull the levers. You'll be a sexual tyrannosaur, bro. No doubt about
it. we say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So for you men out there who are like, I don't know, my family eats different shit. Well, you know what? Your family will take your lead. And like CJ said, if you are confident and you are in your power as a man, not only will your family take your lead, but in the office, everywhere else in your life, people are going to start wanting to know what CJ LaBoy is doing because they see him showing up big in his life and stepping forth with confidence. And people follow courage, they follow confidence. This program is pervasive in that sense. This is personal development. This is
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's not. This is not a fad. This is not a diet. This is not even like a workout program. Like it's really none of the above. I mean, this is a opportunity to personally transform and really kind of get back to your roots as a man without being sexist or cliche or whatever you want to call it. But look, men are hunters, we're providers, we're leaders, and women are too, without question, right? But if you really want to be the leader of your family or the leader of your business, or at the very least you want to be who you say you are or who you're telling people outwardly and how you're projecting, well, yeah, this and you want to get there and you need a kick in the ass and a reboot. This is the program. This is a lifestyle program. Right now, yeah, it touches on diet, it touches on exercise, it touches on all those things, but also kind of it also touches on a lot more than that. It's going to force you to dig a little bit deeper into yourself. And if you're not willing to dig deeper into yourself, then you're just full of shit. You're just telling people a lie. It's just a facade, and you really don't want to change. You know what I mean? But if you really want to change, or you want to be, what you say you are, or what you were, what you once were, then this is it. Do it.
You said something about pain too, and there's a good quote that says, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, whereas the pain of regret weighs tons. Yeah, man, you're going to have to work. You can't just show up and eat pizza. There's no freaking diet in the world that actually works that allows you to just keep doing the same shit you've been doing and get results. So I'm not going to tell you that this diet's easy. There's no easy path. There are easier paths. There are paths that are proven paths and will get you results faster. But there's no overnight fix. There's no freaking magic beans. There's none of this nonsense that you see out there that works for you. Facebook ads, you see them every day. Guys,
Yeah.
oh man, I eat pizza and Skittles every day. I lose weight. Yeah, but if you die next year because your blood sugar is through the roof, you're diabetic, your blood pressure is high, your energy is shit, and your skin is terrible, then what have you won? Nothing.
No.
So lastly, I'll ask this question. You work with a lot of esteemable people. So there's no way you'd ever recommend a program to anyone within your network, which is a very prestigious network, to say the least. Would you recommend GUTLESS, or do you plan to recommend GUTLESS to anybody you know? I get lazy because I get so many referrals.
Yeah.
And I don't do as much advertising as I should because I fill classes just based on recommendations. But is this something you'd recommend, or are you just like, no way, get me the hell out of here?
No, I've already recommended it. I've already recommended it to about a dozen people already. I mean, look, I went to go see a client of mine yesterday who I haven't been able to see for a couple months because of COVID, right? Like I haven't seen him at all. He's been training and doing his stuff, and I've been stuck in a house, so I literally drove down to see him yesterday, and he didn't recognize me walking on the street. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, you're a whole different human being, dude." He's like, "Where'd you go?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, I'm right here." So yeah, I'm going to recommend this to everybody. I've already started, even within my professional circle, which look, I work in a business that's all about it's really a perception based business. There's a lot of bullshit on our side because it's shark selling to these young men this dream that's really not real, right? But there's also a lot of real stuff and real people in it that do good work. And I would recommend this to, like I said, anybody that wants to reboot, that really wants to retake control of their lives if they feel like weight's an issue and everything that comes with weight, other than just being heavy and being sick and not having energy and all that stuff. This is the right program. This shit works. This is not a fad. There's no bullshit with it. It literally works. It literally works. So yeah, I've already started recommending to people. One of the top NFL draft writers was on Twitter today talking about how he needs to lose weight and he needs to get a program. So I've already sent him the first video that we did. Like, look, dude, if you really want to lose weight and you're gonna talk all this shit, check these guys out. Like, I've already done that. I got you, bro. This shit works, man. I'm happy to let everybody know.
Thank you, brother. And you know what? We talk about testosterone a lot. Some guys get tested before they enter the program. But what I always say is all of your low T symptoms are going to go away. So whether you want to get tested or not, it's up to you. We've proven we tested and helped guys boost their T up to 200 points, nanograms per deciliter in just 2 to 3 months. But you have a lot of experience in that world too, being in, the NFL kind of circle and whatnot. Would you say from a hormonal standpoint, I know you didn't test your hormones, but you got everything you're looking for from a testosterone benefits versus low T symptom standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 2 years ago, I did do a big hormone panel. Not only did a big hormone panel, but also did like the Boston Heart thing where that looks at kind of everything. And my levels were low. And a lot of the symptoms that I had going before I even went and got tested were poor energy, couldn't sleep. Sex life was good, but it just wasn't, as good as it once was, right? When you're a younger, strapping young man. But all the symptoms that I had going into that test 2 years ago, I've still felt those same exact ways, right? Before I started this program. Low energy, lack of strength, bad sleeping habits, sexual stuff or whatever. But all that shit's gone, dude. Like I wake up out of bed and I'm like, I'm ready to go, dude. Like I told you a couple of days ago, I literally wake up every day and I immediately upon opening my eyes after I, kiss my wife and, wake up my kids, I'm like, all right, what am I going to crush today? Like, what am I going to crush? I have all this energy in the world. I feel more focused. The fogginess is gone, energized. And I don't drink coffee. I've never had coffee. I never was like a stimulant guy or anything, but it's just like, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? And I'm good like all day long. There's no like lagging or dragging or anything. I'm ripping and running. It's great. So yeah, I feel like whatever you put in front of me, I'm just gonna crush it.
That's because I'm putting on my glasses so I can look like you. I want you to pick up the computer and say, yep. I am CJ LaBoy, aka the Barbarian, aka the 38 Special, aka the Goat Chaser, aka the Gutless Goat, and I lost 40 pounds on guts.
I'm CJ LaBoy, 40 pounds of freedom. You like that one, Bryce? Yeah. And I'm the Gutless Goat. You come and get me, gentlemen. Come and get me.
Gutless Gang.